Yeah, I pull up to the fucking man. Gala in my underwear. I don't care. Used to be a billionaire. That's 1,000 millionaires. Bang, locked up all my money. I don't care. You can't stop a fucking guy. Yay, 2024 came in the game. Brought down the doors. Broke all the locks. For what you got. For what I want. Foot on the devil's neck for the law. I'm done tap dancing on tour. No more interviews with the Forbes. Y'all can't even keep score. I pissed on my Grammy Awards. Cause I don't need an award. Yeah, I don't need your applause. Yeah, I told you I was a guy. Illuminati took my mind. Illuminati took my wife. Made me wanna take my life. Bitch, I threw away my ice. And you know I'll pay that they won't, yay. Power on my dick, singing Kumbaya. Adidas fell off cause they ain't got yay. Try to cancel me, but you can't cancel yay. If there was no J, there would be no yay. You know I spazzing.
Is Ye back?
Dude, that sounds like his old shit, doesn't it?
Oh my god.
That brings you back to like 08 when he was really popping. He was doing his thing. He wasn't so fucking wacko.
Yeah.
Dude, he lost his mind.
Man, he went off on that verse. That line, I know I texted to you the other day. I was like, we gotta use this for the pod, but
Dog,
Adidas fell off because they ain't got Ye. Ooh. Fire, man.
That's a
fire.
That's a bar.
Well, welcome everybody. It's been a minute since we've done this. How you doing, Whit? Anything new going on?
Dude, this is like, I don't even know what we're doing here. This is wild. This is the first time in what, a couple weeks?
I think 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Setup has changed, it looks like, on your end. Is that a whiteboard?
Yeah. Got some new segments. Got some new segments for you. What's that?
To them nice boys. Good
Talk
morning.
to them nice.
Yes.
Talk to them good man. Good to hear. Crazy stat of the day.
Crazy stat
of the day. Our 10-year high school reunion started this weekend.
Yeah, that's wild. Huh?
You feel old yet, brother?
It goes by fast, doesn't it? Holy shit.
Question for you, right? Because you participated in, obviously, homecoming football games in high school, right? Being a part of them, winning them, right? How did it feel coaching in the homecoming game? I'm assuming it was the homecoming game, right? In your 10-year high school reunion, did you kind of have like a moment there?
Not
like
really.
A full circle moment, just kind of like really. Any other day type shit?
Not really. As you go on and coach a bunch of, I don't know. It's almost like all business. I used to always get like jitters and real excited before coaching games and stuff. Now it's just like, it's to the point where it's just all business. Like it's all just X's and O's, how to exploit defenses, shit like that. That's just it for me.
Yeah. To be honest. That's keeping it professional at the end of the day. No matter what the game is, no matter what the stakes are, you
like
just
I
go
used
out
to
and
get
do your
hyped
job.
And shit, like we dialed up a score or whatever. Now it's just like it's like okay, we scored. Yep. All right, next. What do we got?
Well, good, man. Glad you guys won though. Definitely some good shit there, man. Well, we got a good show for y'all today. I'm leading it today instead of Witty. So let's get into it.
Nice. This is nice being in the passenger.
I like it.
I'm just chilling. I'm looking out the fucking window. What do we got going on?
Get to sit back and chill today. I like it. All right. So, word of the day, Urban Dictionary. Man, it's been a rough start to the season for the Bears. So, I kind of wanted to keep a little bit of Bears theme going this morning. Cody Parkey is the word of the day, actually. Defined as a guy who just likes to hit uprights, man, when kicking the football. A little additive to that, you're hated by the city of Chicago. So I think I might just start using this word with people that just wouldn't fit in that city.
Shit.
Like you might be a Cody Parkey.
Ooh.
The entire city of Chicago hates you.
See, I don't know. You're trying to get my gears going this early. Like, fuck, man.
I know. Somebody brought it up the other week to me at work, so it's been lingering in my head.
It's one
lately.
of those. You're getting clowned at work now.
If you're a Bears fan and you go to a work environment that is not just Bears fans, you are getting clowned every day you go to work, man. Like it is just it's
You
part
put on
of,
your fucking ring. You put on your rainbow cap. And you head right into the office.
it's part of your day at this point. Like you expect it. It's like in my schedule, right? Okay, so 10 to 10:30, I have my meeting. 10:30 to 11, I check emails. 11 to 11:30, I get hazed for being a Bears fan. It's like it's built into your day, man. Like it's water cooler talk at this point. So you don't want to be a Cody Parkey because I don't think that man can still step foot in the city of Chicago.
Fuck it! Oh, what a bad memory. I mean, my God, just every time you bring him up, like I gotta have this thought. I still cannot believe an organization would keep a fucking kicker after he had hit the goalpost 4 times in a game. Just think about that. You can't even listen. Even if you were trying from all these different angles and distances, right? On a windy day, you can't even try to hit the goalpost 4 times. And this fucking guy did it, and they kept him.
And here's the thing: you can't even chalk it up as like a bad day, right? You can't. It would be like the equivalent of me, right? I work in sales. It wouldn't be me not making any sales in the day. It would be me calling my customer base and saying, "Hey, don't use our service. We're losing money." Right? Like this guy went out there and missed 4 fucking field goals and kept his job. If I did the equivalent of that in my work, I would be canned immediately, right?
It's crazy.
Same thing with you.
Even if you tried.
You run the Replex. Like, if you told everybody, hey, I hate all of you, you suck, we don't appreciate your business, and they leave, that's the equivalent to missing 4 field goals. And this asshole kept his job.
Even if you tried, you couldn't do it. That's the crazy part. You couldn't do it even if you tried.
No, blows my mind. And then you got a guy like Moody, right, on the Niners, perfect in his NFL career so far, making it look easy. But
it makes you wonder, our rookie kickers making their return. They used to not get a shot, for the longest time. But now it's like they might be worth the investment. Typically you get them in like the 6th, 7th round or something.
I mean, think about how many points they put up for your team at the end of the day. So it's an investment. Absolutely. Don't do it in fantasy though. Wait till the end. But moving on to head ass of the week, we're still keeping it Bears themed right now. Our head ass of the week, and we do have a clip to share as well, is the Bears OC Getsy. And we will play this clip and you will know why.
Do you like the orange unis?
Barrett, too good of a jump.
On the right day.
Yeah.
Replay. He's going to
hit
one up there.
We're going to see 3 plays.
Now it's blown dead. This is going to be offsides on Shaquille Barrett.
Offside. Defense number 6 down.
To it. First down and 5. Keeps it off Khalil Herbert. A flag down as Herbert gets a first down to the 20.
Another flag.
David. Over there to pop him.
Pass interference. Offense number 10. Blocking downfield prior to the pass. Half an inch is all. Retrieve first down.
Tom. Out of his own end zone. Intercepted.
So, it's pretty clear why he's our head ass of the week. You run the same play 3 times in a row, and you think it's going to work?
Jesus, man.
I don't know if you saw the interview.
Straight out of
the game. After the game, like the Bucs players were like, we knew it was coming. They ran the same play 3 times in a row. We knew it was coming. Literally straight out of Madden. Ask Madden. All right, let's run this play. And then previous plays. Pound it. That is the worst display of coaching I've seen in a long time, man.
That's brutal.
And for all of you that are watching, like, we're Bears fans.
It's crazy.
It's brutal football to watch, man. Brutal football. Well,
It's to the point where you just give it up on the Sundays, man. You got your Sundays back. You know, you do
You
your
got
thing
your
now.
Sundays back.
You can go back to church. You go pick up your groceries. Do whatever you got to do on Sunday. Just don't watch that team.
Just don't watch that team. That's good advice. Hopefully you've got at least a good college team to watch on Saturdays to make up for the lack of football, because I don't know. The Bears aren't playing football. I don't know what they're playing. So, but moving on. That is our head S of the week. We got a couple clips that we want to show, just some viral clips that we saw this week, whether it was Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Just a couple clips that I want to show. I'll jump right into the first one here. I'm going to restart it. That's pretty impressive.
Dang.
I don't know if you saw that. I'll replay it one more time.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive, is it not?
Interesting.
Overthrows it. Dude kicks it. Guy catches it in his mouth over here. That's a pretty impressive viral clip. I don't think you could replicate that if you wanted to.
It's the same as the Cody Parkey, bro. It's the same shit. It's like, even if you wanted to hit the goalpost 4 times, even if you wanted to do that, you know, the chances, right?
Couldn't do it again.
Couldn't do it again.
Couldn't do it again. I mean, keep in mind, right? Like I think I sent you a clip, and I know we get off topic all the time, but it's good. We should call this off topic podcast or something.
Yeah.
I see Josh is in here. What's up, man?
What's going on?
But it's almost like that clip I sent you a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. That Bears game against the Niners back in the day, when Vasher returned that kick for 109 yards, how windy it was. Those guys could make kicks.
Yeah.
In 60-mile-an-hour winds.
It's true.
I mean, we're talking pretty decent conditions when Parkey was kicking. Sorry, we keep getting off topic, but man, that one hits deep.
It's that sickening.
That was an 8.
We're years past it. Years past it. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Let it go. Well, moving on to the next clip. I don't know if you saw this. I saw this last night. You know, everybody should know Boston Scott, running back for the Eagles, right? He's one of he's in their running back room. This man is a professional Rocket League player. Just watch this clutch that he had. I think it was like a 3v1 Rocket League clip.
So he's getting paid to do this?
I don't know if he's getting paid, but he's playing Rocket League competitively.
Bruh. Rocket League. What?
He's even got an Eagles-themed car.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I mean, who's to say they can't be, you know.
Who can't do both, right? I mean, let's be real. All athletes are gamers, right?
I mean,
I'd say for the most part, especially if you went and played college ball, right? I mean, in your spare time, there's really not a whole lot to do. You're gaming, so I'm sure that's probably when it all started.
How old is Boston Scott? How old is he? I mean, he's late.
That's a good question.
20s, right?
But I came across this last night. I was like, man, I got to show this on the pod. I was like, that's pretty cool. Josh said that he's insane at Rocket League, so he must have already known about him.
28 years old.
He's 28, so yeah, he's right around our age. So yeah, dude, he grew up probably playing the same games we did. So it all makes sense. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't see that side, right?
No. Last clip I got here for you. Did you see Mark Ingram absolutely eviscerate this human being? Just take a walk.
Let her on. What is this? This is like a barbecue?
No, this is Fox big game Saturday or kickoff from college football last week.
Oh, he's a part of the cast now, right?
Absolutely annihilates this man.
Damn. Is it set up?
It might be set up, but I gotta say,
like what is this? Like
it might be set up. I mean, that's Matt Leinart right here handing the ball. This might be set up, but at the end of the day, could he still play? I mean, he looks in pretty good shape. He just absolutely threw another human being, even if it is set up. Like, my goodness.
It doesn't look like he jumped, right? But it only takes so much when you're on your toes there. And
just sent that human being.
Damn.
I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Still got it.
He might still have it. All right. That's what we got for viral clips this week. One crazy bet that I saw the other day. Well, no, actually, it was Thursday night. It was surrounding
in front of Ingram, like for free, just the whole idea of it.
I'm sure he got paid. Might have been an intern or something. Who knows?
Well, he's about to get paid because I'd take his ass to court right now.
But
take his ass to court.
Crazy bet that I saw during the Thursday night game. I think I saw it on like Twitter or something. McCaffrey has scored a touchdown in the last 12 games they've played. If you were to take him as an anytime touchdown, right, starting that first game out of this 12-game streak, just threw $100 on it, and you kept rolling it over, you'd be at $75K right now.
Wow. You want to know what's wild?
Insane.
I did see, I don't know why, crazy. I saw a stat on his most recent anytime score. It was minus 300.
That's pretty crazy to think about.
That's insane.
It's almost not like Vegas doesn't want you to bet it at this point.
For those of you that don't gamble all that much, I mean, it's typically like a plus number.
400.
Like plus one something for the
maybe
highest scoring chance.
Yeah.
Whoever in that game would be. Derrick Henry, whatever. It's usually around like a plus 100, around that even line. Minus 300. $100 win you $30. Ooh, that is wild.
Minus 300. That's nuts.
But 12 games in a row. That's crazy.
Just keep rolling it over, man. Keep rolling over. I'm curious if anybody out there.
Right?
What's that?
Since they had them,
yeah, pretty much. I'm curious if anybody did that. That's kind of a risky one though. Just considering, this might be one of the longest streaks in NFL history. For touchdown score.
I'd love to see. I mean, I'm sure, in the 90s, 80s running era of football, I'm sure there were some pretty crazy stats. I mean, let's be honest. Like the Bears, Walter Payton, how many games did he go with a touchdown?
Yeah.
Right? As a feature back.
Yeah.
Seeing 400 carries a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, minus 300 that's sickening.
Wouldn't touch it. It's not worth it.
Is he in a different tier? Is he in a different tier? Or
by the time he's done with his NFL career, he's gonna be up in that conversation for top running back in NFL history, just because of the ability to dual threat. Have we seen a guy that is just so involved in the offense, like from a run perspective,
it seems like it is it me or does it seem like they've taken a step back and really trying to get him the ball out in space, pass game. It seems like
he's been lining up out more. I mean, on Thursday night you could see it, but I'll be honest. I mean, that O-line's great, right? Yeah. It's solid O-line. Trent Williams.
Best tackle in football.
Sure. I'm watching him run the ball the other day, right? You and I, we're in a fantasy league together, and we have the Niners kicker, and we're sitting here like, how do they keep getting these first downs? Dude, every time he gets the ball, he's getting 4, 5, 6 yards, and he's falling too because his old linemen are coming up behind him and they're pushing him every single time, man. Like, it's impressive for a guy his size, his yards per carry, and even I'd be curious to see what his yards after contact is.
Yeah, Josh, we all been there. It's always like one, man. It's always one. That's why parlays they're so tough. So tough. High risk, high reward, baby.
Oh yeah.
Roll the dice.
Not getting over 60 yards. Yeah, 26 on that sucks.
It's crazy.
Almost. It's usually one every time. It's usually one. I know we cooked up a pretty spicy one when we were in Vegas, and the the Wizards cost us some big money.
Those you never forget those. The one that got away, right?
I'll never forget.
It's like a girl, right? It's like the one that got away.
Yeah, it's always the one. And it's funny, Josh says that. He goes, it's always the one you think you can count on. That was the one we were most like, this will hit. This will absolutely hit. Up 20 points at half, and they blow the fucking lead. I'll never forget that damn game. I'll never forget it.
Never forget it.
Good shit, though. All right. Before we jump into some topics, I do, as you can see behind me on my right-hand side, I do have a
what is that, vision board?
Beautiful new whiteboard, right? Something I want to incorporate here. It's called What's on the Board, right? So, to give you a hint, and it might give it away, but it's the first time going around, so I kind of want to make it easy on you. I have an NFL team here.
Okay.
Behind me to the right.
Yeah.
And there's all this information pertains to that one particular team. Just take a glance.
I gotta. Can you pull your screen up? Or how do we?
Here, I'll make myself bigger.
Make yours big.
Hey.
Yards per game.
I know my handwriting's sloppy. I write left-handed. It's an NFL team.
Wait, does that say sacks tied?
Yes, this is current season.
Tied
last.
Tied last.
Tied for last.
Are you trying to keep it with the theme? Because listen,
what team is it? What team is it?
I'm gonna guess the Chicago Bears.
It's absolutely the Chicago Bears
because the Bears have like no pressure. I'm not even sure if they have a sack on the season.
No, they got one.
Yeah, exactly.
They got one.
And I would guess that it's probably last, right? It's like one sack.
They're tied for last. One sack. So I mean, so
bad.
So there's been the reason I picked this team, right? And it's not because like I'm a Bears fan. It's not because I'm shitting on the Bears. It's because they're the biggest talk right now in all of media. And the big focus is how bad Justin Fields in the offense is, right? Like he was supposed to make the jump. You can make the argument that defense is worse.
Defense
29th in yards per game. We're tied for last for turnovers. We have 0 turnovers this year. Or takeaways, I guess, right? Takeaways. Receiving yards per game, we're 27th. Rushing yards, we're middle of the pack, right? 16th. But the Bears' identity is always to stop the run, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're mid at that. Third downs, we're second to last in the NFL for third down efficiency.
They don't get off the field.
They don't get off the field, right? And then sacks tied for last with one fucking sack on the year, right? Through 2 games, 1 sack.
That's sick.
Offense, right? 26th in yards per game, 24th passing yards per game, 21st rushing yards per game, 24th first downs, right?
Below average.
So, like, my biggest takeaway from this is the fact that we're so piss poor on third down. We don't get off the fucking field, and then we don't convert first downs.
I want you to say that one more time. Just say exactly what you just said.
So this is a big thing, like with the Bears. This is my big takeaway is how bad we are on third downs. We just can't get off the field. Listen. Right? We cannot get we can't get our defense off the field, which is a reason why a lot of these higher numbers are inflated. They're fucking tired. They're just going down the field, whatever. But then our offense can't get first downs, so they're immediately back on the field. Like this,
it's a never-ending circle.
It's a never-ending fucking circle.
So let you want me to give you my biggest takeaway?
Go ahead.
I love how you phrase these things. We, like so that you're saying like you're a part of that, right? I have completely changed my outlook on that. I no longer like to associate myself with them. I always speak to them as they. They, I don't even tie me into that shit. They are garbage. They don't get off the field. They don't stop anybody on third down. I used to say we and shit. Nope, that's them.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Bro, that's so funny.
But I do have 2 dates here. Do you know what this date is?
Yeah, I know what those dates are.
What's this date? What's this date?
So that's the last time the Bears won?
That's the last time the Bears have won a football game, October 24th of last year. It is September 23rd. It has been 11 months since I have been happy. It has been 11 months, right? Since the Bears, at least I can say, because my son was born October 17th, I can at least say the Bears have won a game in his lifetime. I can at least say that. I can at least say that, right? You know this right here.
I don't know that number.
25th, 2022. This is the day that we hired Poles as our GM. This is how many wins he has in his tenure with the Bears. How much longer till he's on the hot seat?
I think, listen, with the turmoil that we saw this past week, I mean, the Bears are not an organization that you find on ESPN.
Not often the way that they've talked about them this week, no.
Listen, I flip on that TV. They are all over the TV. Not good. It's like no news is good news in Chicago, right? As soon as you start seeing us on TV, something's going on.
Yep.
Murders, teams are shit, whatever it is. Okay?
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. So hopefully they can figure it out.
That's what's on the board. I liked it. I'm gonna make it a little bit more challenging for you next week, but figure I'd start you off easy. But at the same time, I wanted to make these 2 points right here, the third downs and the first downs. That is why the Bears are so bad right now. It's just defense stays on the field, offense is immediately off the field. So it's, again, inflating some of these numbers. But at the same time, you would think that, hey, since they're on the field more, maybe there's more opportunities to get some sacks, some turnovers. Nope, nothing, right? But
that's another thing about stats, right? I love this. It's like, Tremaine Edmonds, he had 13 tackles. Buddy is on the field more than anybody else in the NFL.
Right? I mean, we remember
opportunity.
We remember the days that Paul Posluszny, right? I don't know if I butchered his last name, where he would lead the league in tackles, right? But he was on one of the worst teams.
Yeah.
Like, you're on the field a lot. You should have a shit ton of tackles, right?
Exactly. I hate tackles. Tackles.
It's a dumb statistic to look at. It's almost as dumb as how people look at sacks on third down, right? I think that's one of the most pointless stats you can look at. If a quarterback takes a sack on third down, who gives a shit? Like, they're trying to make a play. Like, they're trying to get the first down. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. All right, man. Well, good stuff. Well, we got some topics to cover today. I think the biggest one right now, in really all of America, it is just they have taken storm of the sports world so far this year. It's Colorado, man, undefeated through 3 weeks. Had a pretty scary game last weekend. I mean, I stayed up till 2 a.m. watching that game my time.
If they don't win that game, it's the hype around them is dead. It's completely dead.
Losing to Colorado State, yeah, absolutely.
You can't lose to a mountain.
Really, what are kind of your thoughts around this team so far? Do you think they're a legit contender, or do you think they're a pretender?
This is what I think. I think they're obviously like a bowl game team. They're not a legit playoff contender. They're not. You don't play to Colorado State's level and barely come out with a win. Barely. Okay, barely. Colorado State shit the bed. Made a lot of mental mistakes at the end. Bad penalties. So they're going to be a bowl game team. The biggest takeaway for me is, Deion and his persona and his ability to recruit and, seeing a different way to, find success in college football, a different way of doing it. I wonder, he's almost like a one-of-one coach, though. There's not many coaches like Deion Sanders out there. Let's just be honest. Now, moving forward, maybe, some of these former players do see Deion and see this as a route for, post-football career and try to pursue something. So maybe in the future we see an uptick in a guy like Deion coaching ball, but he's really like a one of one. He's going to be able to recruit like a madman. It's only up from here, I will say. It's only up from here. But there's a lot of rumors around him, already. Where's the next spot? Maybe in the NFL, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to follow how that all plays out. But yeah, that's my biggest take. They're going to be able to recruit. They're going to be getting better. If he stays there, eventually they realistically could become a contender.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to touch on your point about NFL, I mean, there's a clip going around of him and his boys. They're I believe they're at an NFL game, and they're talking about playing with those guys next year. And Deion's like, whoa, you ain't going nowhere or whatever. But I mean, in all honesty, like his sons are going to make the jump to the NFL, and I would like to see him follow, man. I think just prime time back in the NFL would be great. Great.
Could you see him
NFL.
honestly as a head coach, like a head coach?
I don't know about right away. I think there's teams that would probably give him a shot and do it. I don't know how effective he'd be right away. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, I kind of want to compare him to like I'd say Deion Sanders is the new Nick Saban of college football, right? Like, it's a totally different world. If you're a head coach in the NFL, you can't just pick and choose who you want, right?
Of course.
Like, you can go get the best people in college football. You can recruit the best. I mean, like it's an easier and a harder job at the same time, right? It's easier because if you are, consistent like Alabama has been.
Who said that? Someone said
what?
Urban Meyer. He said he quoted, he's like, listen, this is before he made the jump to the Jags, right? But he was saying, why would I go up to the NFL when I'm at Ohio State and I can get 20 first-round draft picks on my team every year as opposed to only getting one?
Yeah, and that's why some of these guys that are in college football forever, like, they won't make the jump because you can't. You're limited to what you can bring in. Cap space, all that kind of stuff, right? Like, but if you've got a really strong program, very consistent, you're always going to be good. You're going to continue to bring it. That's your pitch. Hey, man, like, look how great we've been. Look how many people we've turned into first round picks. Like, you've got that opportunity when you come play here. I would, if Nick Saban made that pitch to me, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm there. Right?
Do you remember seeing? This was around COVID. A recruit leaked a conversation, a Skype, a recruiting meeting with Nick Saban, and his pitch was this. It was literally, now you can go out and play at whatever, go out and play at Baylor, be a starter there, or you can earn your role here at Alabama. You can practice against the very, very, very best day in and day out. They're going to make you the best possible player you can be, and you're going to win championships with us. And it's like, And then he bring out the numbers like, we sent 12 kids into the draft last year, all drafted. And it's just like, shit. So they do have a stronghold on these kids, man, with those speeches. They have a stronghold on them. I can see why, Saban and some of these guys haven't gone back, and especially the money now, too.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Some of the
you can use that in your pitch, too, now. Yeah.
What you're hearing these coaches are getting, the buddy at USC, my goodness. He's got his own charter flights whenever he wants them. Like, they bought him a home. They give him real estate money. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. So back to Colorado here real quick.
Colorado.
They got a tough one this week.
Oh,
right?
boy.
They got to go into Oregon.
21 points, right? It's the spread.
I haven't taken a look. That's what the spread is? Oh, jeez. Yikes.
21.
So they're projected to get absolutely eviscerated this week. Any chances of winning this game?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Oregon looks to be a complete team.
Yeah, Bo Nix looks nice.
Way more talented than a Colorado State. Way more talented than a Nebraska. I mean, let's just be honest. Nebraska is a bottom feeder in the Big Ten. They are a bottom feeder. And even, by halftime, it was looking pretty murky for those boys until they turned it around.
Yeah.
They're too inconsistent. They're not going to be able to play with Oregon.
Yeah.
I would probably say the line is a little heavy. It's a little heavy because they want the public to jump on Colorado. They want the public, just like you're saying, right? You're going, wow, is there a chance? 21 points? That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. That's all strategy by Vegas, man. They're going to make a lot of money this weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Oregon's too much of a match for them. Here's the thing. Colorado's going to move the ball. They're going to score. No doubt about it. I mean, the offense might lose like a step, but they're still going to be effective. They're going to score. Travis Hunter being out, right? He plays both sides of the ball, but it hurts him more on defense than it does offense. I think the defense is really, really going to struggle today against Oregon.
Let me ask you about Travis Hunter, right? Because I'm sure everybody has seen it. Travis Hunter's incredible both ways. Travis Hunter might be the best receiver and corner when he comes out at that time, right? Which is crazy. And deservingly so. He should be getting paid as such. Maybe like a slight discount, right? You're not going to pay a guy a complete number one cornerback and a complete number one wide receiver salary. But just hear me out, right? What if you're an organization and you're seeing this, like the risk of him getting hurt, it could be like crippling.
Yeah.
You lose 2 starters.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't think
it's going to be interesting to see how they play that. It's almost like Shohei, but it's not. It's not.
And I think you bring up a good point because I could see them really having to talk with him at the end of the day, especially if they perform well on offense today without him. I could see that conversation coming up like, hey, man, like, let's really focus on just keeping you on one side of the football right now. Like, maybe we'll get you some snaps on offense. Maybe like how Dion did, right? Like sometimes he'd sprinkle in. I'd say that would probably be good, right? Because again, this hurts you more on defense. And where did he get hurt?
Yeah,
he got hurt on offense.
Yeah,
right. He got hurt on offense. So I think you bring up a great point.
That's gonna be cool to see how that plays out. I'm excited to watch that, man.
Using somebody both sides of the football, man. I mean, you got to do it in high school. You have to, because unless you have a complete team, but it's very difficult. But in college, man, you kind of got to start stepping away from that. It's like you said, that risk of injury, and it sucks that he got hurt on the side of the football. They probably don't need him as much because they have talent at wide receiver. They have talent.
Oh yeah.
Horn's a monster. So
Horn, that Edwards kid, they all look.
They're all great. Good. So I do want to.
But you got to let me get a stance from you. Do you like Oregon or do you like?
Oh, Oregon for sure. Yeah, Oregon for sure. Yeah. I do want to discuss this hit on Travis Hunter. We'll watch it real quick and then we'll discuss it.
Oh yeah, so we saw those clips of Major Wright from Florida in the national championship. Same deal, right? Same situation. He's trying to track the ball in phase, and the safety makes a play on him to break it up, but it's a little late, right? It's a little late. I will say this: it happens. It happens. It's also a rivalry game.
So is this clean, or is this just a football play, or is this dirty, man?
It's technically a late hit. Technically.
I mean, it got flagged, so yeah.
Yeah, it's technically a late hit. It's really not even that dirty. He's not like launching at his head.
I get it, but this is where I wanted to pause it. He's looking at the football.
Yeah, no, it's a late. I mean, dude, you got to remember, this is a rivalry game. This stuff is going to happen.
I'm like, look at the time that goes by after this. He could have just ran through him, right? Didn't need to lower. So I think it's dirty.
It is.
Wish it wouldn't have happened. We lost a good player for a couple weeks.
Is it a couple weeks? He's out this week?
I think it's like 3. He's missing this game in USC for sure. So they're dropping the next 2 games.
They're dropping the next 2. I didn't follow his actual injury. There's they're not winning this week.
Yeah, no chance.
It's Oregon and it's USC next week.
All right, man. So moving on from them, we got a big matchup, and I don't really want to get into it that much. I just kind of more or less want to see what your pick is. Notre Dame, Ohio State. That's the big game this weekend. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna take Ohio State. I think the line is pretty slim.
It's 3. I think it's like -3.
Yeah, I like Ohio State though. I think they're just a more talented team. Notre Dame still hasn't really played anybody. Sam Hartman is good. I do like him. Mm-hmm. He's put up a lot of numbers. He also played in a fantastic system at Wake Forest. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's very, very unique. We all know RPO as, quick get the ball out, but they run what's called a slow RPO, where literally they're chopping their feet and he rides the mesh for 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then pulls that out and takes, deep shots as opposed to like quick game stuff. So a lot of his stats were helped out within that system. A lot of shot plays. He's a good quarterback. It's not going to be enough. The running back's solid. Again, it's not going to be enough. They're too talented at Ohio State. I think Ohio State actually wins the Big Ten. Just being honest. They're just coming into their own, though, with this new quarterback and getting reps, as Michigan had to do last year, right? Figuring out their guy.
Yeah, they switched.
It takes a little bit of time
between Cade and JJ for the first few games. So yeah,
I just love the receiving room is super stacked again, and their running back looks really, really nice there. So, State.
You got Ohio State. I am only
by a 7 at least, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. I am only making my decision solely based off of the line, because I did see the line yesterday, and because it's so close, I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's gonna win this game.
At Notre Dame, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be a hell of a game. Is that the nighttime game? Or are they 12 o'clock?
No, they are tonight. I believe they are tonight. Let me double check that. I want to say
game day should be there, right?
They Pat was there yesterday. He did his show from
game day will be there.
South Bend. I gotta check. I swear they're the night game.
Or it could be Colorado being out west. I mean, I don't know.
No, they're at 7:30 my time, so 6:30 by y'all. So they're the night game on CBS.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a game. Game of the week, like you said.
Man, Iowa and Penn State are playing at the same time too. That'll be a
wide out.
Yeah,
wide out at Penn State. Woo!
But yeah, man, I'm just, like I said, the line's so close. I'm gonna go with the home team. All right, man. Last college football topic to touch on real quick. Alabama is going up against Ole Miss this week, and they're already off to a pretty rocky start. I don't know what's going on in that quarterback room. The decision to pick their start, it's just super weird, man. It's like it doesn't seem like Nick Saban at the end of the day. Do you think that if they lose this game and kind of spiral out of control this season, this is really the end of the Bama dynasty?
Oof. I think you got to say that, right? Especially, it's not only that, but if you let Georgia go back and win it again, yeah, Georgia's taking that crown. Not having the quarterback, man, we're starting to realize what that looks like.
Yeah.
We're starting to realize what that looks like. And Jalen Milroe, although he jumps off the screen, from the eyeball test, you look at him, you're like, holy hell, look at this guy. He looks like Lamar Jackson now, right? It's just not panning out. It's not panning out. I I think Georgia goes back again this year. I think we all agree they got a shot to go back again and win it
I
all.
think they're always going to have a legitimate shot, right? Like they're always going to be in that conversation no matter what. I mean, they even started off pretty slow this year. I'd have to say through the first 3 games, they don't look like the number 1 team in college football through the first 3 games.
If in your rankings, who looks like the best team in college football? Completely unbiased.
Florida State looks great, man. They look great. So I'd have to say non-biased Florida State would probably be my number 1 team right now. Just from how they've played from start of the season through now. Like Michigan looked like it until last week. JJ threw 3 picks like against a Bowling Green team. Just some bad decision making at the end of the day, and in Georgia, just they come out the gates very slow.
Yeah, they always turn the second half. They're just
it's so weird. And then who's at number 3 now? It's why am I blanking on this? Because Florida State's 4, aren't they? Or maybe they are 3.
It might be 3.
I'm not entirely sure. I think Ohio State's maybe 5.
So
or something
in your
like
opinion,
that.
you would say Florida State.
I'd say Florida State so far, just resume from the start of the year until like this point right now.
Easy path to get there in the ACC.
I'd have to say they're the number 1 team in college football right now. They just look consistent. Like Michigan, man. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, how have we not scored yet? Like, this doesn't make sense. How have we not scored yet? So,
do you think 2 Big Tens will get in?
I don't think
so.
Right now, until Oregon, USC, UCLA, Washington come in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
I don't see it until they join. Right. The West, like how they're split up, the East and the West right now in the Big Ten, like it's stacked. You're always going to have. It's always your top 3 teams are always going to be Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. That's always your top 3 are always going to be that, right? And currently, that's how the rankings are. But they all play in the same side, so there's no chance for all 3 of them or 2 of the 3 to go play in the Big Ten championship game. They're always going to play the lesser, right? I mean, granted, Michigan played Purdue in the championship game last year. Purdue looked pretty good, right? But
not enough.
It's Purdue. The year before that, they played Iowa. They beat the shit out of Iowa. Like, it won't happen until those other teams come in.
Yeah.
It won't. Because if you get like, and I haven't looked at how they're going to structure it, but let's say you get undefeated Michigan going up against undefeated USC in the Big Ten championship game, and it's a close game, both teams will get it. I can promise you that, right?
Like, yeah, depending on the outlook on where teams are at.
Yeah. Depending on how well their season is, because you can compare it to Bama and Georgia a couple years ago. Bama beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, and then lost to them in the national championship. So, like, I think adding those teams really is it's going to get the Big Ten too, because that's what they want. The Big Ten, they don't give a shit who gets in from the Big Ten. I mean, they make money off it, right? That's all it is. It's all these conferences to make money. They just want to get 2 in. And they know right now they don't have a shot to get 2 in because the SEC is always going to get 2 in. I don't know about this year, though. It might just be Georgia. Tennessee already lost. Tennessee already lost, right?
Tennessee, yep.
Tennessee already lost. Yeah, already. I mean, they lost to Florida last week. That's right. Bama already lost. I mean, really, outside of that, SEC's kind of dying.
Yeah, it is a bloodbath over there. Like, if we're being honest, it's a bloodbath every week. Like you said, even Bama going to Ole Miss. I mean, you can't say Ole Miss can't on their best day.
Can't.
You never know.
You can't say it. But I think if they lose today, because if they lose today, they're not making the playoffs. There's no chance. Mm-hmm. Bama can't come back from this. So that's why I say I think today is one of the more important days in Bama football, like recent history, than people think. Because if they lose this game, they're not in the college football playoffs. There's no chance. Dynasty's over. They're done. Mm-hmm. You don't come back from that. How are you going to recruit, the top 5-star prospects when you haven't made the college football playoff 2 years in a row?
That's what I'm saying.
That's going to be tough. So this is
Georgia doesn't. I mean,
this is
like
a big day in Bama. Like, again, most recent Bama football history. Like, they have to win today. They absolutely have to win. So good stuff, man. All right, we'll move it on to the big boys. NFL. Man, it's been an interesting couple of weeks so far. We're in week 3 right now. We had that Thursday night game with the Niners and Giants, and I think the game went exactly how everybody anticipated it going, right? I mean, the Niners are just they're probably the hottest team in football right now. From if you're looking at the tail end of last year to now, right? We got some other hot teams as well. Obviously, the Eagles, I think everybody expected that. The Cowboys, everybody expected that. The Dolphins,
big loss for the Cowboys, though, with Diggs.
Big loss. Absolutely. Losing Diggs, that's huge. Dolphins, undefeated right now. I did pick them to win the AFC East. I remember you picked the Jets, and
a lot of firepower. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers ain't around anymore.
It's dead.
But yeah, I saw this coming, man. I saw how explosive this offense is. This is one of those teams that they don't need as sound of a defense to win games, because they're always going to put up points. Like they're always going to be scoring 28 plus a game. Like they'll always be above that kind of mark or around it at the end of the day with the weapons that they have. And honestly, Mostert looks great out there running the ball too.
He's got to stay healthy
in that offense. Yeah, stay healthy. But I'd say the biggest surprise so far is the Bucs, man. They've got to be the biggest surprise in all of football. Them and probably the Falcons too.
Falcons are
a big surprise. That AFC South is looking a lot better than we thought it would. But any thoughts? Any teams that you think are off to a better start than others? Maybe kind of an early season like Super Bowl favorite, anything like that?
Shocking, the Bengals. This is a must-win week.
They're on my list for cold teams.
This is, to me, when you look at the NFL in totality right now, them being 0-2. Now, granted, we already had this discussion. We understood that this was a legitimate division this year. I mean, every team could come out. It wouldn't shock us, right? Any team could come out of that division. But starting off 0-2, and your quarterback, there's rumors that he might be heading to IR. Oh boy.
Yeah.
How quickly the wheels are falling off of this thing. It's getting kind of scary.
Yeah.
But in terms of shocking teams, I was going to mention the Falcons. I want to see one of those teams really emerge. Everybody's like, "Oh, that NFC, it's so shitty. It's so shitty." Let's just see one of these teams emerge, So it's cool to see the Bucs, Falcons,
Yeah.
It's kind of unpredictable still, but we're seeing wins being put up. That's the fun part. So I'm excited to watch that division now.
I will say, I did pick the Ravens to win that AFC North, man.
It's looking pretty good.
Looking pretty good so far.
Looking pretty good.
My Bird Gang. Falcons are gonna fall off here, man.
Bird Gang.
No, I think
you're a non-believer in the Falcons.
No, I am now. Just having Bijan on our fantasy team is a reason I'm believing. I don't know if you saw. Did you see that clip where they
It was sick.
It was from above, the view from above, the way he's able to
the
cut.
ball, right? They went with the ball. It was so sick.
And Pat McAfee yesterday goes, "This man not only cuts on a dime, he cuts on a penny." I have never seen somebody move the way he does. So, I will.
He's very.
I'll call myself out.
You want to know who he is?
Who?
I was thinking about him the other night. Again, I got a little bit of background in coaching running backs and myself, and really understanding that position. I'm going to give you his comp. Are you ready for this? It's a identical comp. The only other guy.
Don't say Jamal Charles.
No.
Or CJ.
The only other guy. Because listen, people are like, "Oh, he's the best we've seen since Saquon," and they're trying to compare him to Saquon. Saquon's different. Saquon, when he makes his cuts, he gets a lot of horizontal, a lot of distance on those cuts, right? It's real low. Bijan, he stays at this level the entire time when he cuts, and he only gets a little bit of movement and back vertical. The only other guy that I see doing this in the history of the NFL, very, very good running back. I'm going to let you guess. Similar build, okay? Very efficient in the pass catching game as well.
Is he active? He's in the NFL?
Not active.
When did he retire?
2012?
You can say AP.
No. Maybe 2010 he might have retired. I'm trying to remember what that year was. Scored a lot of touchdowns.
Got anything else other than that? I mean, you say a lot of touchdowns. My mind immediately goes to
big
LT.
time nickname.
Or not LT, LaDainian. Yeah, LT. That's the one that goes. Is that who you're talking about? LT?
It's LT.
I was going to say, you said touchdowns, and that's just the first person I thought of.
Again, a specimen, able to do it all on the field.
Yeah.
Could find the end zone, one in space. He just gives me LT vibes. I mean, that's not a bad comp to have.
No. It's better than, I'd say it's better than being compared to Saquon.
Not a bad comp. I'm excited for Bijan moving forward.
He still has the single season touchdown record for rushing, right? LT.
Yeah, it's like 28 touchdowns.
I don't know what it is, but I don't
like
know if it already broke.
It was
it's
crazy.
But you mentioned the must win for the Bengals.
It's a must.
I've got an even spicier situation where somebody's going to go home losing or a loser.
Well, someone has to go home losing.
This is but I'm saying like both these teams need to win. And
lay it out. What do you got?
The Chargers and the Vikings.
Oh,
this is a big one because they're both 0-2. No one thought they'd be here, right? The Chargers lost to the Dolphins out the gate. I don't remember who they played off the top of my head last week, but they didn't have Eckler. That was a big reason. Eckler's back this week for them, so I do think the Chargers will pull the win out against the Vikings. But man, if you're either one of these teams and you go 0-3, I feel like it's you got to hit the panic button. So one of these teams is going to hit the panic button after this week. Because you're both in pretty much win now mode. This is last year Kirk Cousins' contract. If you're the Chargers, you just paid Herbert all this money. You know, you're probably in talks because Eckler. I don't think they hashed out his contract yet, but
I think it was just a 1 year or something like that.
Something like that. But you go out and draft another pretty studly receiver. I mean, they're both in this like win now mode, especially for the Chargers. They're looking at their comp as the Chiefs, right? They're 1-1. So I guess at the end of the day, the divisions they play in might help them kind of like breathe a little bit. Like the Vikings could go 0-3 and still win the North. The Chargers,
crazy.
Depending, I mean, the Chiefs are going to beat the Bears this week. So I'd say if I had to say the Vikings are probably, if they lose this game, they have to go in panic mode,
right?
You've got to, and you can't move off Justin Jefferson.
No. He's.
I'm just saying, like
Kirk Cousins is the one though. Kirk Cousins. There's a team. They wear green.
Yeah, the Jets.
For a quarterback, that's all. They're all in right now in terms of contracts. I'm just saying, if that call might happen, it might be time.
It might happen, and it might be the right move at the end of the day, getting Jefferson more acquainted with whoever is going to take his job because he's still young, right? You don't want to lose a guy like that at the end of the day. So I'm really interested to see how that game plays out because like they're both going to be fighting for their lives in this game. They both desperately need a win.
Nobody thought this Viking team would be 0-3, right? Wow.
Yeah,
they would take the North. Yeah, this is something, man. This is going to be something to follow. I'm excited to see what happens. Another big weekend in the NFL. Your favorite matchup? Is there one that you're circling right now? I mean, what's the game for you?
I have to just say that Chargers Vikings game. It's gonna be it's going to be a bloodbath because there's a lot on the line for both at the end of the day. Outside of that, I will say I'm very interested in this Falcons-Lions game.
That's my pick.
I'm very interested in see how that game goes.
If the Falcons go out and handle business at Ford Field.
Yeah.
Oh, listen. I mean, everybody was saying the Lions are world beaters. Like you said, the number one team with the most bets backing them to win a division was the Lions this year. Okay? Think about that. Everybody's all in on the Lions. They're turning around with Dan Campbell. They drafted all these guys. They lose to the Falcons at home. Not only are they not legit, I think some people are backing the Falcons. Bird gang. This guy.
Yeah.
Cut him off. You're sick.
But yeah, that'll be a good one. Like I said, I think those are the top two this week is again the Lions, Falcons, and then the Chargers.
The question
and
is, Jesse, are you backing the Falcons?
Like, don't be biased either. Don't be biased either. Like, you're a Falcons fan, but
are you putting your money where your mouth is, Bird gang, on the Falcons going into Ford Field?
Dan Campbell. This guy drinks 12 shots of espresso before the game.
He's gonna bite your kneecap.
We'll see if we get a response.
We'll see if we get one.
We'll see one.
Did you have anything else on the docket?
Yeah, a couple other things. I was looking at one other matchup that's probably also going to catch my attention, and it's the Bills and Washington. With Washington starting off, they're 2-0, aren't they? Yeah, they're 2-0.
Sam Howell, man.
Howell looks pretty solid so far.
His last game looked pretty good
through the start of the season. So I think they're home, but if they can handle the Bills, we're going to go from the Eagles-Cowboys conversation to Eagles-Cowboys-Commanders conversation. Like, they will put themselves in that convo. So I'm interested to see how that one also plays out. There's some good matchups this week, but I'd say those are my top three looking over the entire schedule. The Monday night game, there's two of them. Not really interested in either. I think the Eagles will handle the Bucs pretty easily, and then the Rams and the Bengals, not really excited to watch either.
It sounds like Bro's out. We'll see.
But back in there. Last couple things to really talk about here. Do you have any early MVP Rookie of the Year favorites so far from what you've seen through the first 2 games? I hate to say it's a small sample size, but
I hate to say it. Rookie of the Year, if he keeps his pace up, it's going to be Puka Nacua. He's on pace to break every single record in receiving history.
Yeah.
At the moment. Do I think that's going to last? No. I still like Bijan as we picked to win Rookie of the Year. It's looking really, really good. Over 100-plus yards of scrimmage every game right now. He's on pace for almost 2,000 yards on the year.
Yeah.
So that'll be really neat to watch.
You summed it up. I'd have to agree, Bijan. The hype that was around this guy, for the hype that was around this guy, he is playing it was worth the hype, man. It's been a while since you've seen guys come in on the offensive side of the football with that much hype around them and perform the way he has, man. So, yeah, I would say he is heavy Rookie of the Year favorite. And for your reason, right? Kupp's got to come back. He's going to take a lot of targets away. Bijan, he's always going to get his touches, man. So
here he is.
But as far as your MVP favorite so far, I've got a guy in mind, but who are you thinking?
MVP
so far through the first two weeks, and
we know it's typically a quarterback.
Yeah,
as we know. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna throw a dark horse into this mix. You ready for this? even though we're saying this team could be on the absolute hot seat of blowing everything up, I want you guys to go look up Kirk Cousins' stats right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then project them out through 17 games.
He was like at pace, like almost for like 6,000 yards.
He's going to break every passing record in NFL history. So if they could somehow turn it around, and like we said, the North is up for grabs. It's absolutely up for grabs. Okay. If they can squeak out with 9 wins and win the North, right? He could win the MVP. He could absolutely win the MVP.
And just to like back up what you're saying, right? Through two games, Cousins has 708 passing yards. He's got 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. I'd say that's pretty solid, right?
Pretty damn good.
He's not my pick.
Cam Akers.
He's not my pick though. My pick is somebody that, like, I was very high on this team, and I don't know why I wasn't high on this particular player. I think I was just like excited because I picked Herbert at the beginning of the year, and he's still probably probably in the running at the end of the day.
I think all the quarterbacks are kind of still in it. You know, it's no one's.
Herbert's played pretty well, but you know, this guy's a quarterback for a team I'm very, very high on, and I picked them to win their division. It's Tua, man. 715 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. He's got a couple picks so far, but I think he's just really kind of knocking the rust off at this point. Get that dude some momentum going. Man, I could see him snagging that MVP. So, I'm gonna stick with Herbert. I think Herbert's gonna win. But if I had to pick, like, through 2 games so far, if they keep playing the way they're playing, I could see Tua winning it.
And sure. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna win still. Though. Yeah. Jalen Hurts is gonna win the MVP.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I got money on him, biasly. So.
All right, last topic of the day, and it's a big one. It's one that's been circulating the sports world for the past week now. It's Nick Chubb, man. You know, that was a devastating injury, and I don't know why I forgot this, but he pretty much sustained almost the same injury when he was in college.
Yeah, same knee.
Does this situation hurt the case for running backs getting paid? Does this just further just devalue running backs as a whole?
I'm going to say this. It was a freak accident. But, again, they're the guy that's touching the ball 20-plus times a game. Is it worth the money? You know, when you run the risk analysis on the position, you go, you know, what kind of troubles can we foresee this position? You know, what kind of risk? I think you have to take this into account, right? I think you have to. Now, granted, he's only got 1 more year left on his contract, you know, timing, whatever. But moving forward, a guy like Bijan, yeah, they're not going to get compensated what they used to get 10 years ago. It's just not. It's not the case anymore. There's too much risk behind the role.
And you bring up
the
Bijan.
Player, it's the role.
And you bring up Bijan, right? Could he break that mold? Is he the guy to carry running backs back in the conversation for getting paid? Is he that guy?
I think you got to watch out what you say, because Bergang in the chat is going to lose his mind when you're saying that Bijan is never going to get hurt in his career.
I'm not saying that, right? But we have to agree some of the most horrific injuries we see in football are at the running back position.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it comes with the role. Unfortunately, that's the job's responsibilities.
Yeah.
He's got to take those hits, and that's going to be more taxing on the body than anybody else on the field, right? So, unfortunately, it is going to impact moving forward. Unfortunately, it was such a clear cut on primetime TV. Everybody saw it.
Everybody's watching.
Everybody was talking about it. that it's going to have an impact on us all.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? So like I'm always interested in problem solving, right? So the problem is running backs don't
business between the tackles. That's facts.
And real quick, I'll touch on something Jesse said. Like, it's always been like this. It has. It's always been like this, right? They take the most punishment, but I don't think they looked at it as much back then. With how much the game's evolved, how many people, like, look at how many star quarterbacks that we have in the league now. Yeah. Like, household names. You didn't have that when we were kids, right? You didn't have all these like household guys that could go pass for 400 yards a game. Like, you didn't have that, right? So back to what I was saying, it's totally a different game, right? But back to what I was saying, man, I just lost my train of thought too. Back to what I was saying is I'm a problem solver, right? I like to look at something. I go, how do we solve this? And the current problem we're facing is running backs feel like they're not getting paid their worth, right? How do we solve that? Is it the NFL coming in and implementing new rules to protect running backs like they protected quarterbacks? Maybe you can't hit them below the like how do we solve this at the end of the day? Because it's such a crucial position in football that if we devalue it the way the NFL is, we're going to disincentivize people from playing the position, and it's going to ruin the game within, I don't know, maybe the next generation, right? Because our kids and maybe people 10 years younger than us are the ones that are watching this, right? Like they're seeing the receivers do all the gritty celebrations in the end zone. So like, how do we solve this problem? Is it, again, implementing a rule, not the same exact as the quarterback, but maybe protecting the running back? Like, how do we solve
the problem? Here's the problem. When you think about the injuries that would typically end careers, impact their performance moving forward long term, it's less brain, it's spine, it's unfortunately it's knees, ankles.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's also things that you can't protect with rules. There's a lot of non-contact knees and ankles and Achilles that happen.
Yeah.
And
so
that's part of the game.
And I'm glad that you said that, because I didn't touch on it, because there was all this talk about, NFLPA wants grass fields, no more turf. Like you played on both, right? You played the running back position. I mean, does that really have that big of an impact on a player and like injuries? I know, for example, like your ACL, it was on turf, right?
Yeah. So
do you think the same thing would have happened on grass?
So I will say this: they're 100% correct, and again, I will speak on a little bit of a exercise science background, biomechanics, how it all works. Being on grass, there is that give, right? There is that give. So when you think about, if this is your lower limb here, and you plant here, there is a little bit of give. So you won't put your knee in that valgus position, and it won't be in a position to, get hurt non-contact wise. On grass or on turf, there's no give. So all that force, all that sheer force, once you plant in that turf and you're stuck into that turf, it's on those joints.
Yeah.
So yes, there is science behind it. Absolutely. Now, it is a business. It is a business at the end of the day. The reason why high schools, colleges, the NFL have moved to field turf, ultimately, a lot of it has come down to cost, maintenance. There's a lot involved with that. I remember reading a study around, or not a study, an article on, for instance, local team here with the White Sox. They have the sod father. He had a huge article on the costs and wages and all the time and expertise that goes into managing just, a field of grass, right? There's a lot associated with that. Yeah. Especially in the NFL with all the painting and what have you as well. There's a lot of money and overhead and all this stuff. Now it's a super billion-dollar business. I'm sure they can, absorb those costs. But you also play faster on turf. I don't know if you guys watch teams that play on grass still, Chicago Bears. They don't look as fast as teams that play on turf. And it's because it's a fact. You don't go to a combine and run a 40-yard dash on grass.
It's a better product.
It's a better product. It's faster. That's what we want to see. Scoring, better cuts. Technically, if your knee stabilizes and there's no give in the grass, you're going to be able to get in and out of your cuts faster. Everything is faster on turf. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough decision. Is the NFLPA going to crack down and try to change that from a player stance? Or is the NFL just going to stick their middle fingers up and say, hey, it is what it is. It's non-contact. It's been happening for years. Figure it out.
So do you think it might be one of those problems that like they just can't solve?
Because what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to, from a rule stance, it's going to get way too murky inside the tackle box. How are you going to visualize these penalties that are taking place? He's hitting too low or he's hitting too high. If that's what they implement, you can't see it. Okay, it's not going to be clear as day.
Yeah.
And again, it's almost the same as what you're doing to these receivers. You know, you told DBs you can't hit him high, you can't aim at the head, you can't do that. He's defenseless. But now you got guys diving at their knees, and it's getting even worse.
Yeah.
And you know, receivers are like, I'd rather get a hit up top.
Yeah.
Diving at my knees when I'm full speed? Are you kidding me?
And I was going to ask that too. I'm curious if there's a study out there after they, made that rule change, right? Hitting high, if the severity of injuries at that position has decreased since they implemented that rule. I'd be curious to look at that because if it has, then it technically worked, right?
I'm sure it has.
It technically worked.
Sure it has.
So
from an eyeball stance, right? We when's the last time you've seen a guy again that major right hit from the BCS? That was football.
But I'm not saying just head specific injuries. I'm saying just like
level of severity across the
level of severity of injuries. Like, has it decreased since that rule has been implemented? Right,
whether it be head or knee.
Yeah, whatever. Because if it has, maybe it's decreased it by 10%. Then it's a good change, right? That was a good rule change, and maybe that's something they look at running backs. If it decreases a Nick Chubb situation by 10%, it works, right? It absolutely works. And I still think you have a good product at the end of the day because, let's be honest, everybody wants to see teams score. Like, let's make it harder for the defense to stop the offense, right? Like, that's a better product at the end of the day. Like, nobody wants to see a game of 3 and outs, right? Like, I can think back to the Bears, Rams game was that in 2018 or something like that, right? I may have my years wrong, but do you remember how bad that game was to watch?
Mm-hmm.
We won, but it was just like 3 and out, 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 back and forth. Like, that's not good. That's not a good product, right? So I think they need to look at studies like that to determine what they should do to fix this problem. Because I don't know about you, but man, I love like Roschon Johnson, man. When he trucked that dude, like, I love that kind of football. And I feel like it's going to go away if we don't solve this problem.
It's getting scary. I hope it doesn't, man. I hope it doesn't. Oh.
It's just there's still a lot of people that grew up in that running era, right? Like the league, every team had an elite back, right? For the longest time. Like, you could go through team by team by team. Everybody had like almost a household name for the most part, running back. Not a lot of teams just got whoever, right?
Well, moving forward, think about it. Some of these kids that have been playing ball, some of these kids that I'm even coaching now, all they've been coached is the softer version of football, right? Heads up football. That's the big thing in coaching, maybe 10 years ago, where they were starting to teach kids everything you do, your eyes are up. Every time you tackle, your eyes are up. Mm-hmm. Whereas 15 years ago, lead with the top of your head, it's the hottest part of your body. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You
I love
put the
that
spine
movie.
on the line. It is what it is. You got to win this play.
Yeah.
Jeopardize my future for to stop
Yeah.
this team on fourth down. It is what it is, right? So,
Yeah. So getting back to my original question.
Yeah, let's go back to your original question.
Like, because we spiraled, and it's good. I like having those debates, those conversations. Does this injury, do you think it negatively impacts the running backs wanting to get paid, or do you think this might move some change at the end of the day, which could positively impact running backs getting paid? Do you think this is just like we brush it off to the side, like it is what it is type situation, or do you think they look into it?
I think behind the scenes, this is an injury that's going to be discussed during contract negotiations between an agent and a GM. They're going, listen, we just saw it last year. He's been arguably the best, on the ground, downhill running back we've seen in the past 10 years. He just blew out his knee. There's risk associated with the position. We can't pay him what we're paying our number one receiver, where they don't have that same inherent risk. I mean, I think behind the scenes, that's what's going to be talked about, right? We all saw it. The video was gross. It was clear as day. Primetime television. Nick Chubb, huge name. Huge name. Yeah. Unfortunately, It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. In contract negotiations, is going to get brought up, but at the end of the day, I think that this does more good than bad, because I really do think, whether it's the NFLPA, the NFL itself, like they will start taking this a little bit more seriously and try to
valgus.
I don't know
what did you just call me,
but I think that they will try to affect some type of change to prevent this from happening, because again, you're all about a product and you don't want to devalue anything about your product. Mm-hmm. And if you devalue the run game, guess what? It gets harder to throw the ball, right? Yeah. It gets harder to throw the ball. If teams start running 15,
it's a bad domino.
If people start running the ball only 15% of the time, guess what? We drop back every play.
Yeah.
Okay, right? So it's in their best interest to solve this problem, I think. And for me, this sheds more light on how serious this is. Like, we need to do something. We need to get these guys paid. So, good talk. I think that was a great conversation.
Good shit.
Last thing before we go, lock of the week. Who is your lock of the week?
Ooh, you want a little Wits pick action? I want
some
Wits
lock
of the week
picks. Yes, lock of the week.
This is it. I'm going with an NFL game.
I think I probably already know it.
Oh, it's so tough. I want to take them. No, I mean, like a lock of the week. Like, listen, it's not going to make you much money, but I mean, the Jags at home against the Texans, they're going to beat the shit out of them. They cover 8 points easy.
Yeah, I mean, the immortal.
It's not going to make you a lot of money, but
yeah,
the Jags are not losing at home to a rookie quarterback. Yeah. The Jags are pissed that they only put up like 9 points last week or whatever it was, 10 points.
Yeah. I'd say the immortal lock of the week is the Chiefs beating the Bears.
Oh, right? I mean, yeah.
Minus 800 ain't going to make you much money.
Minus 800 ain't going to do you squat.
I got
coffee.
Yeah. I got to say, if I had to pick one team to go with that's got pretty decent odds this week, and you might be like, what the fuck, Joe? Yeah, no shit, Jesse. It's obvious. That's what we said, dude. Give me something that makes money. You want something that makes money? I'm going Steelers plus 125 to win against the Raiders. That's my pick of the week. The defense looked good last week, right? They look pretty solid against, I'd say arguably, not arguably, the Browns offense is better than the Raiders at the end of the day. So I gotta say, I'd hammer some money on the Steelers this week, plus 125. Going in.
And another one I would say this:
1-1 against the Raiders.
Monday night, Eagles -5 probably should be like a 6.5 point line. Honestly, they should probably win by more than one touchdown.
Yeah.
If -5 seems pretty.
Is Joe Burrow playing this weekend? Because that line's at -2.5 right now.
Yeah, I know. We're all looking at it, and that's the line for a reason. Everybody thinks he's going to be out. Yep.
So do you hammer Rams plus 2.5? I mean,
it's Jake Browning. He hasn't completed a pass in the NFL yet. I don't know. You run the risk. I think I like I said, Jags, Eagles.
yeah,
It's pretty safe. Even if you just took a money line, fellas. Money line.
And I'd say one to stay away from that I'm looking at right now is Seahawks are -5.5. I would stay away against the Panthers. I would still stay away from that because Andy Dalton's jumping in for the Panthers, and we all know Andy Dalton. He's a veteran quarterback. He can put points up. So that's probably one I would stay away from.
That's a scary one.
It's enticing
people
at first. It's enticing at first going, man, Seahawks -5.5. They're going to beat the shit out of the Panthers. You know, the Seahawks are home, but I'd stay away from that one.
12th man.
Jags -7.5. I'd hammer that. Yeah, hell yeah.
I think Jags Eagles looks really juicy this week.
The Jags and Eagles look good. Yeah. I'd say if I had to go straight money line, something to get you some change in your pocket, I'd have to say the Steelers over the Raiders.
If you pair Jags Eagles -100, it's literally even. Whatever you bet, you get.
Money line. That's a pretty good one.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good one.
You're feeling pretty good about Eagles.
That. Absolutely. Man, there's Jesus. Yeah, you're right.
Whatever you bet, you get.
There's some good money.
I'm not an expert, but I'm just looking at this, and it just screams value.
I don't know if you saw, but Taylor Lewan said he cracked the code for gambling, right? Sports betting. It's literally hammering like -1,000 favorites. Just put money on them, take the winnings, and just keep putting it on heavy favorites. He goes, all I do is win money.
See, it would be nice if you're Taylor Lewan with his pockets. I mean, we're talking about a guy.
Threw $100K at it. Oh yeah, shit. You lose $100K.
Made $75 million in his career, and he's still racking it in with bussing. Yeah, his unit size, for those of you that really gamble, right? Your unit. What are you comfortable with in gambling per game? I mean, his unit, it's got to be a couple hundred per unit, like at minimum.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Yeah.
So, man, good slate. Both ways. We got college football today. Excited big games. NFL Sunday. Should be good, man.
Picks. We got the whiteboard, man. Can incorporate that some more. We got a lot going on, man.
The
it was
lives
fun.
are going to pop.
Lives coming,
yeah. The lives. We're still out here. I think we're going to start dabbling in a little. I think what the youngsters call it, TikTok.
Ooh, I'm nervous about that one.
We got to make sure we got to get that follower count up so we can go live on there. So
that's good exposure, but TikTok, man, I swore I'd never be a part of it. But
boy,
some things will change your mind. But I'll take a little bit from you. Any words of wisdom? I guess it's Wit's words of wisdom, right?
Yeah,
that's a good WWW. Give me a little bit of WWW.
Just. If you got someone special in your life, just make sure you give them a call and let them know you're thinking about them. And no, but honestly, words of wisdom. Just enjoy the time you got free, man. Just enjoy it. Sometimes you need time to just reset, kick your feet up. If you're a homebody, it is what it is, man. Kick those feet up, throw on the game, reset. For me, it's been I've had a crazy ass fall. You know, we got this pod up and rolling. We got, business is booming. We got a lot happening right now. And I'm just excited to kick my feet up today, order a couple, wings from the spot down here and just watch a little ball.
Yeah, that's coming from a Bears fan, right?
Well, that's the thing.
You can kick your feet up when you're a Bears fan because you don't have a game to watch on Sunday.
I don't have a game to watch on Sunday, so I'll be honest. I'm trying to figure out, here's my problem. Here's my dilemma with that. Like today's my day to just chill, reset, right? Like I said, I don't have a college team. I got a lot of buddies and colleagues and friends that they coach in college football, all different teams, all different levels. I've been a part of the college game as well. And it's like, I don't know, I can't get attached to these teams for whatever reason. Do you have any advice for me to try to hitch my wagon up to one of these squads?
And
because I just can't get attached. I just watch the game for what it is. Again, I'm watching X's and O's out here.
It's difficult for people that grew up in our area, right? Like you never had that team that was really worth following in college, right? Like growing up north of Chicagoland, right? Like we had Northwestern, you got Illinois, like, you know, Purdue's kind of close. I mean, Wisconsin's not far, but like, it's just, you didn't really have like a team. Like for as big of a city as Chicago is, you would think that they'd have a powerhouse like football program, right?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah, South Bend, lots of Midwesterners. Yeah, absolutely. I just think you got to find just an exciting team and just latch onto it, man, and just stick with it.
You know what I'm going to do? How about this?
It's not a bandwagon thing.
How about this?
How
about this? Since I get one team.
And exciting doesn't mean winning. I'm just saying, like,
one team a year I can hitch. I go, okay, here we go. I'm on for the ride.
For the year or forever?
For the year. I get one team a year.
Oh, that's fine. I don't
I'm gonna buy the hat and the team.
Like, no. See, like that's totally different. And I'm not telling you to be a bandwagon fan, but if there's a team that you really like, you're like, man, they got a lot of, you know, good players coming in. Like, dude, hitch on to that team. It doesn't mean you're a fan. It means you're a fan of just watching good football.
By the way, we're teaching you how to be a bandwagon fan.
No.
So guess what? I'm a Colorado fan this year.
And like I said, you're not a fan. I'm just trying to get you attached to a team. So like Saturday, like, hey, I'm excited to watch this team play, right? It doesn't mean you're a fan. You're just a fan of good football, right? So maybe it is Colorado this year. Like, man, they got a good team. Like, I'm super stoked to watch them play. Dude, I haven't stayed up and watched a college football game till 2 a.m. ever. That was the first time I've ever stayed up and watched a game that late. It was because they're an exciting team to watch. Like, the story was big behind it. Like, it was personal. Like, that's exciting for me. So maybe you jump into storylines, right? Like, here's a big story. There's a big build up to this game, and this is why. Like, you don't have to pick just one team. You're not a fan of the team.
I got my team.
You're a fan of good football, dude.
I got my fucking team. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay. It was always Toledo. Go Rockets, go.
That did your Road to Dynasty or whatever the hell it was called with an NCAA football back in the day.
It was always Toledo.
Always Toledo. Okay. Yeah, I just think college is a lot different than the NFL because, I mean, we're talking 32 teams versus hundreds of teams, right?
Or maybe I do the whole on Saturdays, you know, or Sundays, man. I flip on Red Zone now, and that's about it. You know,
yeah. I mean, if you're not a fan of a specific college football program, just go after good football, man. There's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of pretty solid teams. Florida State, exciting to watch.
You might have to make the trip out to your local Division III team and go check them
whatever.
Play the football.
Right? Whatever works for you, man. I'm all for it. But real quick before we go, I know Kyle touched base on the lives. You know, you obviously, if you're following us on Instagram, you get notified of when we do go live. I think we're going to start putting out a schedule though and posting it on the Instagram, so you kind of know a time frame of when we're going to go live.
Big time.
Feel free to jump in. You can jump in the call with us if you want. I mean, that's the whole point we're doing it, is to try to drive engagement with people that are also involved. If you want to come in and talk shit to me, I don't care.
Yeah,
you can debate them. You could pull a clip of something I said 5-6 podcasts ago and be like, Joe, explain this. Put me on blast in front of everybody.
Do I got an idea?
What's that?
Oh, these guys got to come on and try to debate whatever stance they have. You go against them
I go against it.
and see if they can tread water. See how long they can tread water.
Just don't come in and say the Bears are the worst team in NFL right now, because I can't debate that they're the best team. That's one I can't. So, yeah, I'm all for it, man. I know Jesse jumps in sometimes on the lives and all that good stuff. But yeah, if you're in there, jump in, come say hi, talk shit to me, talk shit to Whit. If you got a bet that you're just hammering, I'd love to hear it. I'm sure Whit would love to hear it. All that good stuff. So, yeah. Anything else, my man, before we jump?
Nah, a lot of fun, man. Be on the look for another live here. We'll see y'all soon.
Peace.